So, what lessons can you learn from Solange's masterful album rollout? What's up, guys? Brandon here from KDMR Music. On this channel, we teach you how to succeed in the music business. So we do that by teaching you the actual basics of the business, like copyrights and royalties. We teach you different strategy tips to market your music, and sometimes we investigate album rollouts like we're doing in this video. So, if you're interested in that type of content, please hit that red subscribe button that's on the screen right now. So, this Friday, Solange, if you don't know her, she's the younger sister of Beyonce, but she's a star all of her own. And Solange released her fourth studio album on Friday, and it's titled "When I Get Home." Now, this album came out with very little warning, and it was, basically a surprise album by surprise album standards. But I want to talk for a second about the rollout and everything that went along with this album. So, let's flash back. The last we've heard from Solange on a substantial level was in 2016 when she released her album A Seat at the Table. It was an album that really kind of gave a voice to the strife or the downsides of black womanhood, while also being a sort of empowerment anthem or empowerment piece for black women at the same time. It was very much rooted in the culture of New Orleans. Master P did a bunch of interludes on the album, as did Solange's parents. So it was really cool. It was a very intimate album, and that type of album seems to happen once in a career for most artists, but apparently not for Solange. So we hadn't really heard much from her in almost 3 years, and then all of a sudden, this Tuesday, Solange posts, "Hey, find me on Blackplanet," with a link to her Blackplanet profile. Now, Blackplanet was a very popular dating website in the early 2000s. I had a Blackplanet profile, not for dating, but it was almost like one of the precursors to social media. It was very much like MySpace in that you could customize your profile and have different animations and all sorts of things. But, I mean, it was just a space made for black people online, and it was really cool. Right? And so immediately, Solange is capturing our attention with nostalgia, reminding us of a simpler time, a time where we didn't necessarily have all these cares and worries. It's just, oh, let's go home and check my Blackplanet profile when I get home from school. Right? So that was checkmark number one. That was an amazing feat in itself. She's got this Blackplanet profile, and on the Blackplanet profile, there are all sorts of pictures and videos of Solange and other various people. She's got like some women in like cowboy hats and just very artsy photos. The types of photos that make you say, okay, something's coming. That's checkmark number two. She built anticipation. Not only does she give you something to look back on, she also gave you something to look forward to. And because you already remember all of the great memories you had associated with Blackplanet, now you're looking forward to whatever's going to come out of it, because if it's inspired by that time, then you're all ears. Now, let's talk about the last piece that she did, right? On Thursday, she said the album was coming soon, but before she did that, she said, "Hey, give me a call. For my number is 281-330-8004. And if you guys remember anything about Houston rap, you'll know that is Mike Jones' phone number. Mike Jones was a rapper from Houston. Well, he's still alive. He's still a rapper, and he's from Houston. And he had a song called Back Then. And on that song, he shouts out his phone number. Now, that song went on to be really, really popular in the mid-2000s, around the time when I was in middle school as well. And so everybody knew Mike Jones' phone number because he said it in the song, 281-330-8004, right? And so you already know that that's Mike Jones' phone number. Mike Jones is from Houston. You've got different Texas vibes coming from the cowgirl hats and all that in the visuals, right? And then the album is called When I Get Home. Now again, with the Mike Jones phone number, she gives you that nostalgia. You remember what's inspired this. You remember Mike Jones and Swisher House and swinging and switching lanes and all that stuff, the steel tipping, all of that, right? Now, the other thing that was amazing about her telling you to call that number, if you called the number, if you were able to get through, I was actually able to get through once, you could hear snippets of the album, different musical selections, not a lot of lyrics or anything, but just you heard some of the album. And again, that was what built anticipation. At this point, she had not announced that the album was coming out. And then finally later on, she says, all right, my new album comes out tonight at midnight. Thanks for listening, right? So the album comes out, and then she drops a 33-minute video on Apple Music. So it's an entire audio-visual experience, kind of like Lemonade was, except you didn't have to wait for HBO to watch it. So Solange completely bodied her album Rollout. Now, what can you do as an independent artist that kind of borrows from this or takes inspiration from this? How can you apply this to your career? Well, again, the nostalgia factor is amazing. If you make music that's inspired by a certain time period or a certain place, then in your album rollout, you want to make sure you capture that. Solange has made it very clear, and all of the critics who have been able to listen to the album, which I have not yet, have all stated this album is an ode to Houston. There's so much Texas or Houston, Texas influence in this album. It's just magnificent, right? But then you think about how she wrote it out. All of that was true to the same theme as the album. So you can certainly get people excited about the album without even releasing a single, right? But you have to be strong in what your brand is, what the theme for that album is going to be, and think about different ways you can carry it out. So if you're a fan of a cartoon, let's say maybe you're a fan of the Avengers, and you made a music project that's inspired by the Avengers. Well, what if your album rollout was a few pictures of different settings from the Avengers movie? Or if it was quotes from the Avengers, right? But done in innovative ways, right? Now your fans who are Avengers fans, they're super excited because they know exactly where this is going, although they have no idea how it could apply to music, but they're excited to find out, right? So you've got them hooked on that nostalgia factor. So again, stay on brand, stay on theme. Come up with themes for your music and then follow them through in your layout, in your album rollout. But never underestimate that power of the collective experience. That's what made this so powerful for Solange. From the time she started on Tuesday, she was bringing us back to a time and place where things were just way different. I remember Mike Jones' single being all over TV. I remember going home around that same time that Mike Jones was popular and checking out Blackplanet to see what was going on there, right? And you can do the same thing. Take people back to when Toonami used to come on at 4 o'clock. Take people back to Snick at night on, or Saturday nights on Nickelodeon. Take them back to TGIF on ABC or One Saturday Morning, right? When I started shouting those things out, you remember all of them, right? That's why certain documentaries do well. CNN's got a series called the 80s, called the 90s. They've got one on the 2000s as well. If you were alive in that time period, you remember everything about it, right? Brands do this all the time, and you should certainly do it with your music too. So, I want to hear your most creative ideas for an album rollout. Drop them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other content. And if you need more help with your music career, check out our blog, check out our podcast. I'll leave all those in the description of this video. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.